Calling this meeting to order. This meeting is being conducted with a virtual component. Anyone wishing, oh, I'm sorry, before I start, welcome everybody to the Mountain View Performing Arts Committee meeting on May 20th. Okay, so this meeting is being conducted with a virtual component. Anyone wishing to address the committee virtually may join the meeting online at mountainview.zoom.us/j/85206706172 or by dialing 669-900-9128 and entering the webinar ID 85206706172. When the chair announces the item on which you wish to speak, click the raise hand feature in Zoom or dial 9 on your phone, star 9 on your phone. When the chair calls your name to provide public comment, if you are participating via phone, press star 6 to unmute yourself. Great. Roll call. All are present.
All are present.
Wow, amazing. That's good. We're good. Great. Item 3, minute approval. This should be, you have your binder, right? But I don't think we made any motions or anything in the last.
It's just a strategic plan. You go to this for me.
I swear.
Well, we were just so thrilled that there wasn't a major
For the last,
thing going on at the
Yes.
last meeting, you know, so it's short and sweet.
it was short and sweet. Do we have anyone in the public?
Just one.
Is there a motion?
Valerie, I can make a motion. These minutes look complete and accurate to me. I move to approve these minutes.
All in favor, or do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Great, the motion is approved unanimously. Okay, moving on to item 4, oral communication from the public. This portion of the meeting is reserved for persons wishing to address the committee on any matter not on the agenda. Speakers are limited to 3 minutes. State law prohibits the committee from acting on non-agenda items. Do we have anyone from the public at this time?
No one in the room. No hands raised.
No hands raised. Moving on to item 5, unfinished business. None. Item 6, new business. Introduction of new committee members.
All stars.
Wonderful.
I'm Valerie Fennick, pleased to be here. Just started my term yesterday, I guess officially sworn in. And I was most recently on the Bicycle Pedestrian Advisory Committee for 8 years and turned out on that. So excited to serve the city in a way that I'm also very passionate about. Lifelong performer and also really excited about the business aspects that the committee deals with and bringing people to downtown and all of the other events that we help participate in and keeping active and vibrant as Performing Arts Center.
Hi, I'm Antara. I also got sworn in yesterday and really excited to be here. I have a background in performing arts as a performer, as an arts educator. I run my own arts organization based in Mountain View, and I've been a presenter. I've actually presented at NVCPA several years ago. So it's just really exciting to be now on this side of the performing arts scene as well. So yeah, I'm looking forward to working with you.
What are you?
Oh, sorry.
They know you. Oh, I get to go first.
Yes.
It's the longest serving member.
Exactly.
Yeah, actually, this is my 3rd term, which is unusual. We're so happy to have you here. We have a problem sometimes. Filling all the seats. But yeah, my background, I moved here from Chicago. I was on the communications team there for a large grant making foundation, and I focused a lot on the culture program area, which included performing arts and visual arts and all that other sort of thing. And so I'm also on the Mountain View Historical Association board, so I'm a booster of that. And I'm just, at this point in my life, kind of involved in civic affairs and things. And so the performing arts have been kind of a lifelong passion for me. And so I had to look at it from the funder's side, not so much on the performer's side. But I'm curious as to, you said you were a lifelong performer. So I'm interested in the genres.
Musical theater primarily for myself, musical theater, so singing, dancing. I was for about 5 years on the stage down at the Gaslighter Theater in Campbell, California, which is now defunct, but that was vaudeville, melodrama, magic, comedy, improv, sketch, just a little grab bag of everything, but singing is what I really focus on right now. But I just did a murder mystery last month, where I was the performer in the murder mystery. I was not the murderer. Anyway, but
Wouldn't hold that against you.
Yeah, we wouldn't.
It's true. The whole audience thought it was me. I was obviously very guilty, but I do enjoy comedy type things, and I still perform in 2 a cappella groups currently, one with my
Wow.
employer and one for the Lyric Victorian Carolers, who raise money for the Lyric Theater or the Gilbert and Sullivan Society of San Jose. Oh, I did operettas and stuff for a while too.
So I am a Kathak dancer. Kathak is a classical dance form that originated in northern India. It's a storytelling dance form. They say that flamenco gets its roots from Kathak because it's very percussive and lots of spins. We dance barefoot. So I've been studying this art form since I was a child and have been a full-time Kathak artist for 15 years now. That's kind of crazy. I've been teaching, performing, choreographing. Most recently, I think my most exciting gig was I was performing and choreographing for Opera San Jose. So it was very cool to get to bring Western classical music and Indian classical dance together. But yeah, I do a lot of collaborative works, and not just staying within Kathak, but really trying to bring it to more audiences. And yeah, I'm just really, really passionate about it. Right now, I'm mentoring 25 young girls in the dance form. They study with me twice a week.
Hi. So, my name is Yao Yao, very easy to remember. I think I've been enjoying this for 2 years. I actually don't remember. I'm still learning. I'm very new to this country. So I've been a piano teacher for about 20 years. I've been living in Mountain View for 10 years. Just looking forward to knowing you better, and looking forward to working together. Chair.
And then my name is Avid Garcia. I'm 5th generation Mountain View resident, so we've been here since the 30s. Long-time family legacy here, and so a perspective on the city that one orients itself towards community and giving a voice to people who don't often speak up in the arts and who are often left out of the arts. And so that's kind of the perspective that I bring, and bringing in kind of a relational component in community work as well. To say not necessarily what structures can we implement, but what ways can we reach people and connect with people, and having that be the foundation, or if you will, the ontology of the way that we operate our systems. So that's essentially where my short little spiel, but that's me. I have a small nonprofit that really focuses on Gen Z demographic. A lot of people from Santa Clara University, the theater department there, but focusing with an intersectional lens about how we can do community work essentially. But yes, so it's tough being the few Gen Z person in the city. And I feel like there's a lot of translating sometimes, which is fine, but I enjoy it. So that's where we are.
Just did a 2-week trip to Europe with my Gen Z nephew. So
Okay.
I got a little brush up on some of the slang.
I'm a cusper, so sometimes I don't know. So yes, a lot of slang vibes. Welcome. Okay, lovely. We are on to item 6.2, which will be on the other side here. Teresa, this is yours.
This is me. So what I've got in front of all of you is, just to preface our, fiscal years. Obviously, we run from July 1 to June 30th. So we do quarterly. Normally, we just bring the most recent quarter, but it's because I've had a few new folks here. I wanted to catch you up. So basically, we've got July, August, and September of 24. And as you can see, when you go across, if you just look at the first one, Peninsula Youth Theater, that has an asterisk by it because that denotes a resident company. And then they did Finding Nemo Junior, on the main stage, number of performances, number of tickets sold, the percentage of the house for the main stage, we have 600 seats, essentially, number attended, the tickets, convenience fee and facility use fee, and then the total amounts. And then obviously for quarter one down here, we've got the grand total. We had 26 performances, 5,702 tickets sold, attended. I have them separate that out because it is not uncommon at all to sell more tickets than the folks that actually attend. Things happen, people don't show up for whatever reason. And then the ancillary spending for Santa Clara County. Local attendees spend on average $32.92. My box office folks graciously actually run the zip codes of these folks that have purchased the tickets. So this is accurate based on by zip code. And then the non-local attendees spend $58.92. And then folks that were not sure where they might have come from if they bought online and some reason we're not sure. Then all attendees averaging 225,571. And then obviously we go to the next quarter is October, November, December. That's a little higher. So what I will tell you is that July and August are two of our slowest months typically. We don't really have much going on in August or fall. That's a typical performance season, quiets down June, July, and August. And then what I will say is, December for us is very busy. We typically, like we have Community Contemporary Ballet, they do their Christmas show, Western Ballet, and basically, and then Oakland Interfaith Gospel Choir, they're there in December. We shove 6 weeks worth of shows in 3 weeks in December, is what I like to say. And a sandwich. And then, of course, moving into January, February, March. Again, it's a little higher than previously. This also included, what I want to point out towards the bottom is we have Gravitate and Dance Arts Foundation. Those are two dance competitions that come in. We previously had not tracked the attendance, the way that I wanted. How do I say it? We're tracking the attendance more closely now. These are not ticketed. These are basically competitions. So obviously there's, a group of dancers that come in and then there's a group of audience that come to watch that competition and then they go away. And then obviously as it progresses through the day. But as you can see, Dance Arts Foundation, the bottom one, through the course of a weekend, it's 3,500 people that come through. So it's a considerable number of attendees, even though we're not selling tickets for them. So and then those folks are, back to ancillary spending, are going out and eating and drinking and, especially if their kid advances, you come and compete and then you come back and compete either the next day or later that afternoon, depending on what's going on the schedule. Any questions? This is just information I want you guys to have in your pocket. As far as how many folks we serve on a regular basis, and then you'll hear me talk about ancillary spending.
Yeah, I have a question about that. So you said they're tracking based on zip code, so they're tracking what they spent at the theater
No, no,
or
no.
Mhm.
So
outside?
so that little sheet that I gave you
Yeah.
on Santa Clara,
Right,
it basically tells you for the county
Yeah.
what a local person spends.
okay,
So a zip code for us, that's a Mountain View local
Sure.
zip code.
yeah,
Then you probably maybe didn't buy gas on your way. So
Okay.
you spent $32.92 because you maybe got something to eat or
okay,
whatever.
okay,
And then the non-local attendees, the folks that are outside of our zip codes,
Uh-huh.
obviously spend more.
Okay.
And those are calculated by Americans for the Arts. So that's for our county essentially. Yeah, but we do separate them out. The attendees, they run our zip codes. My box office staff runs the zip codes. So we're separating them out so that we're making sure that we're not counting a person that is a Mountain View resident as an out of
okay,
community resident.
And then additionally, we're in the middle of this revitalization program for downtown and looking at that. So the ancillary spending for the center does resemble some level of a bellwether in the different seasons as to what ways the center has an impact beyond its own, not campus, but its own building. So that's just another reason to have it there, is to also say, in what ways are we impacting the overall climate of the city on an economic level?
So you can see by the end of, the third quarter here, where we going, we're at, I don't think I have the grand. We'll add it all up at the end of the fourth one, but last year, grand total of ancillary spending for the full year was close to $2.5 million.
Sorry if others have questions. Sorry, Tracy.
That's right.
One thing, as we're continuing to move on to talking and just kind of with new committee members as well, as we have a meeting coming up with, or at some point in the future, with the downtown committee and the visual arts committee. So one of the things is looking at ancillary spending, but also, and this is what I was talking briefly during with Shrieks during our ad hoc committee, is the thought of what other data or things as a committee do we need to look at when approaching the downtown committee to create a strong narrative as well, in what ways we want to revitalize downtown. The great foundation of having the ancillary spending there is already an indicator to them to say, we do have an impact in some way, particularly economic, but what ways can we extrapolate that, the aggregated data further? And if there are questions that we aren't asking, is something to, I think about as well, particularly towards whether that's age demographic, whether that's first time viewers too, or first time attendees, things like that. In whatever way we can do that. We don't currently have those. Do we have first attendees, first time buyers?
Yeah, I'm sure we do,
Okay,
but like,
one, the software?
it's a little hard to extrapolate.
Okay,
I
yeah,
mean, when we set up a new person, I don't think it doesn't flag them in any way.
Right.
We know
just have to
because
go-
we set you
Yeah,
up in the
okay.
system. But now with everything online, you can go in and set yourself up too. And
okay,
then it doesn't really flag us that you're a new friend.
Right.
We just, when we run the list, there's another person there,
yeah.
you know.
Well, and so the thing too that I was thinking with ancillary spending, so if we are having an impact specifically with downtown and their partnerships in the future, in what ways, what questions do we need to ask ourselves in order to leverage those partnerships, is my thought. But not something that we haven't quite, that aren't quite in these numbers quite yet, but something I think to discuss as to how to go about doing that for the future.
Well, yeah, and we've decided, I think, that it's important to highlight that because it doesn't seem that the community at large thinks of the center as an economic driver. It's someplace that people may go to occasionally or never. And so it's just part of an effort to draw us more closely into the downtown, because as I was told, the center was built originally to be an anchor to the downtown area. And a lot of the downtown development followed the building the structure. And then that linkage or that partnership signed kind of has weakened over time. And so, I think what we're trying to do is to say, hey, remember us, we're here.
Mhm.
Well, it's a little bit of the edification, and then one of the comments that I always get when I'm out in the public is like, you don't have anything going on a Tuesday. No, because they're rehearsing. It's like, they load in on Monday and on Tuesday they're in rehearsal, on Wednesday they're in rehearsal. There might be an invited dress or something on Thursday, but then the performances are Friday, Saturday, Sunday typically. So it's just a little bit of that education of.
Education, yeah.
It's like, but how come you don't have something on a Tuesday? Well, I do, it's just you can't see it. It's not ready yet, So it's a little bit of demystifying our smoke and
Yes.
mirrors a little bit. And you had a question.
I do have a question, a clarifying question. So I think you did say, but for like the 2 dance competitions, there's no tickets sold. But do we charge them any fees or to use the center?
Oh, yes, no, we're a pay to play, so everybody has to pay.
So,
So I don't see that here.
No, because
Facility
it's,
use fee.
no, I don't include the rental fees here. It's,
Okay.
this is strictly attendance and box office fees. That's a whole nother bailiwick
Okay.
of information. But basically, everybody has to pay.
so this is our outward facing data.
Yeah, this is
yeah,
Alfred.
Yeah, because, I mean, and then we don't, technically, it's not under our auspice to manage the direct finance. But if we're keeping our head above water, also great, but technically, we are outward facing as a committee.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I have another question, which you may or may not have answered. Why are Theater Works listed below all the others?
Because it's a separate software.
Mhm.
Yeah. So when we run this report in our software, we have to extrapolate theirs out of their software and then put it in. So we just kind of.
Put it at the bottom.
Yeah.
All right.
It's just easier to separate them a little bit.
Which were all my clarifying questions.
Perfect.
I have another question.
Yes.
So you don't separate second stage and main stage when you're looking at totals of your performances or ticketing?
No, we don't. And basically, they're just kind of in a chronological order of how they've come through the facility,
Okay.
which many of these, to be honest, overlap. It's not
Yeah.
uncommon for us to have multiple
Right.
shows going on. And then obviously, second stage, is much smaller. Is set up for about 150. Yeah. Of course.
What are the maximum occupancies of both theaters? Or does it depend on what type of event is being?
600 is the maximum for main stage. And second stage actually can be set up for 200. It typically is set up for 150. We can add another 50 seats. It just makes it very cozy. And most of our folks that are coming into second stage are smaller attendance. It is fairly unusual for us to set up for 200. Doesn't happen very often. Yeah. And then sometimes it's broken down. We actually have folks that occasionally, one of my goals is next year, there's a lot of facility things. When we take a tour, I'll kind of go over that with you, but one of the facility changes that I want to do is right now we have the original Langer risers from 34 years ago. They're very heavy. It's very expensive to tear them down and put them back up. So I'm hoping to get new risers that can be torn down and put up very quickly and not take so much staff labor. Right now, it doesn't get changed over in the way that I think a true black box should be utilized because it's just expensive, so we kind of use it the way it is versus like if you wanted to have a jazz cabaret night, you want cocktail tables, and we have those. We have cocktail tables and we have
Getting them in
chairs.
there.
But that means we gotta tear all the risers down and all the chairs down and it's laborious for anyone that is using the smaller space. It becomes very expensive very quick.
For the client.
Yes, for the
What
client.
kind of labor?
Right.
cost or-
Yeah, the labor to
Right.
tear that down and restore is pretty much twice what it costs to rent the space. So it doesn't get turned over very often. So that's one of my goals is to make it more efficient so that my hope would be that like, yes, we will charge the client, but maybe we can split the difference, so to speak. In the sense that it's not, if it doesn't cost us so much, for the labor, then we don't need to pass all of that onto the client too. They can use more. Right now, it's decently used, but it's not hopping the way that I want it to be. So we'll get there.
Well, I'd like to just give a shout out to Teresa. She hasn't been here that long, but she's made a lot of changes, a lot of improvements. So if she says she wants to get something done, I feel it will.
And Teresa, is this a part of the ad hoc, second stage committee, like your plan here with the?
So
residents?
yeah, that's part of that, the Vitality Program. In fact, maybe we should just move on to, because that's
We
the
can, yeah.
next thing
Was
on the
there
agenda.
any questions
and-
regarding numbers that we could also
Yeah.
do? Yeah.
And by all means, like if you go home and you look at this, just shoot me an email and go like. "What's in there?"
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure that all cut you guys up so that we.
Yeah, 6.3 second stage ad hoc committee update. You want to give an overview, Lisa?
Sure, so the second stage ad hoc committee, I think I kind of explained this a little bit in your orientation. That it was really a grant program, that basically if you were asking to use the second stage, then you had never used it before, then we would, offer you that you would pay for the, hard costs, obviously the labor and equipment. But we would waive the rental fees because we wanted to revitalize it and get more folks in. It was kind of a very quiet program because we didn't really share it as openly. We weren't transparent about it. So we put a pause on that, gosh, over a year ago now.
Every year, about 2.
Yeah,
year and a half.
so we put a pause on that. And then we focused on the resident company program and got that ironed out. And then we've come back to we were kind of working in tandem there. And now we're back with the second stage ad hoc committee, which is Carol and David, to really put this program back out there. So it'll have a timeline. We're really close. It's actually almost done. I'm gonna make a couple more edits and then it'll go off to legal. And it'll come back to this body for everybody to read it and review and ask questions. And once you guys approve it, then we'll take it to council. But basically the goal is it's a transparent grant program essentially that we will be waiving the rental fee and we'll do so many of those in a year. And the goal is that when we do primary booking, which is typically we ask for everybody to bring their dates in November, that this program will be approved, the folks that are chosen, that apply and are chosen to receive this program will fall in with that regular booking. So they'll be calendared with everybody else. And they won't have to pay for the rental of the facility for second stage. And I'm excited. I think it's just really gonna be the little shot in the arm that little space needs. And then for smaller organizations, it's also that lift up that they need to not have to pay the rental fees. And then they can squirrel their ticket money away and then hopefully be able to come back and use this, maybe twice in a year instead of once. So that's really the goal. And it's a beautiful black box. It's a nice space, so.
And it's perfect for varied programs.
Mhm.
And black boxes are by definition, I think, sort of incubators. So I think that's what the intent of the program is, right?
Allows us to increase our reach as well.
And then you guys haven't seen it yet either, but when I say black box, it's actually black. It's been painted. It's all
What color
black.
was it before?
Oh, it was that lovely
Great.
salmon, the lovely salmon, and then the bottom was green, and then,
Yeah.
well,
I
the
remember
acoustic,
the green.
and the acoustic panels are still there. Those are mauve. It's a very 1991 mauve.
Yes, it is. Yes.
And those, I've already picked out the fabric for those, but I'm actually waiting to hire an acoustician to come in, because all the curtains are gone. And we don't really, it's very live right now,
Right.
but I don't think we need to put all the curtains back up. If it's all black, I think we were doing the curtains to like cover the mauve and the salmon and the green.
It's almost so dark when I go in there. I don't pay attention to the color.
Yeah, so,
Well, now it's dark.
well, you couldn't see it because all the curtains, but.
They were black, the curtains were
Yeah,
black,
they were black, but we didn't really need all of them. And then the ceiling's black now too, so it's a true black box now. So. once-
Who was the first, it was Upstage that got to use it first?
Yeah, Upstage,
Okay, good.
Upstage.
Yeah.
They did Fun Home this weekend.
Which is a good black box.
So I had to warn Bonnie, I was like, it's all black, which they were fine with it. I said, but just excuse the mauve acoustic panels, which it's just, they're just 35 years old. So, you have an acoustic panel and the acoustic part of it's all, pretty much worn out.
Yeah.
And then I just really want an acoustician to come in and tell us like, you need more, you need less, like, once we redo those, then we probably won't need to use the curtain, have more curtains hung up unless we we want to have them hung up for some reason. So it's a genuine black box now.
Great.
It's supposed to be. It's like, what is this? Who let the architects do this? I'm so bad.
I have a question about second stage, the ad hoc committee or different things.
I have a couple of questions on this agenda item, but also just as a point of order questions. Do we pause to take questions from the public? I heard there was a member of the public on. I just want to make sure they didn't have any questions on the last item.
If they raise their hand, she
Yeah.
can see it on her computer.
Okay, awesome. Awesome.
She'll jump in.
Want to make sure we're jumping.
But there's a, Caitlin's hand is raised.
Oh, she raised her hand.
Also, we have no motion on this, so yeah.
Oh, hi everyone. Sorry. Yeah, no motion. I was thinking about ways of getting more involved in my passion earlier today and found myself on the website and saw that there was a meeting today. So I just wanted to observe, but I'm interested in,
Welcome.
I know that all of the commission members slots are full now with the 2 new members, but I'm just auditing to get a sense of what the commission is about and, what areas the public can contribute to. So anyway, I'm really enjoying this. Thank you. I'm just lurking silently.
What a
Lovely to have
thank you.
Thank you. Come in anytime.
back.
Yeah, come back.
Oh, great. I'll still fill out my application and send it in. But yeah, anyway, so I'm just listening.
Thank you, Caitlin.
Sorry for, thank you, Caitlin, on this as well. And I know a lot of, in particular, licensing fees for musical theater and standard plays. There is a different license you pay for 99 seats versus more. So kind of thinking about how you said right now it's configured for 150 seats. Have we had any questions from any groups about like, is it possible to limit this to 99 seats or is
We
that?
actually haven't, but there would be absolutely no reason why we couldn't. I mean, that's an easy fix. Like you could
Remove
just
some.
easily remove, 51 seats and call it good. Yeah, but we actually haven't had anyone ask that.
Just wonder if that might be something to add to the, attracting people here, like, hey, and if you need, we can make this 99 seats or whatever. I think it is still 99 seats. It's like a weird magic number for licensing.
Yeah, it's right at a 99 or 100 or something like that, yeah. And then your royalties.
And then do we opt to get musicals in the second stage of that or how would?
Pocket Opera comes.
okay, yeah, Pocket Opera.
And Lamplighters did one in the small,
okay.
in the second stage.
On
They're
stage?
normally on the
Well,
main
upstage,
stage.
yeah.
They're on main stage, but they did a smaller one last summer.
The Upstage does one every year.
Oh,
don't
and
they?
Upstage,
yeah.
well, Upstage does a musical every year and then they do their fundraiser.
Where they're
which is-
buying for
which is
a
kind of
larger,
cabaret.
yeah.
I've seen a couple of musicals in the second stage, staged musicals or small cast musicals for the last 5 years I saw there. Which is empty out there. So
Yeah,
it's perfect for that space, right?
it really is, yeah. It's a nice space.
I can't wait to see it.
Yeah.
Last time I was there, it was kind of dingy looking, so I'm excited.
It's getting there. We're getting there. Little by little. Any other questions about the second stage?
I think I may have missed when you said that the ad hoc committee is gonna come and present something.
That's
When
perfect.
is that happening?
So, right now, we just finished our final edits.
Okay.
We're in version 9. It's like so close,
Okay,
right?
all right.
It'll go to legal, to just, give it the once over and make sure we're not out of bounds anymore. And then it'll, come back to this committee. So then everybody will get to read the whole thing, ask questions, and then if you guys approve it, then we'll move it to council.
So would it come next meeting or 2 months? I don't have any idea of the timeline.
Yeah.
Don't move there. Sorry, I don't mean to try to rush you.
I would love to
Well-
say, it'll depend on how quick, I would love to say that we should be able to get it back on the June meeting, and then we don't meet in July. But I am known to throw in a meeting occasionally. We did that last year, and because council doesn't meet in July or August. So it won't be able to go back to council until September, which is always rough to try and get on that agenda because it's really packed.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
But I also will say, like, when it comes back to you, like, it doesn't mean that like everybody has to approve it right then. We can make changes, we can go back, we can hash it, everybody gets a chance to look at it. And then if it needs to come back to the body again, then that's what we do.
And it will be, once it's in place, this is something that the NDPAC that we will take, and then we are going to be the ones that take the applications and whatnot, correct? Like, we are the ones that. This
Well,
committee.
the applications will
Ones that
come,
I'm just saying in the future, this is
Yeah.
our program.
yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, the applications will come to staff. Just to give you a little rundown of it, basically, it's just kind of the housekeeping things. Applications will come to staff. I will do a workshop for folks pre-application due date so that everybody understands the application. Everybody, I'm a neutral party. I'm not voting on them. So make sure that everybody knows, has questions. They can ask questions. How do I fill this out? What do what do you expect here? What do you expect there? So I think that's just part of the transparency and hopefully setting everybody up for success. And then we'll have a deadline. People put in their applications, and then it will come to this group, basically. So to choose, if we get 10 applicants and we can only give away 5 rentals, we're gonna have to make some decisions.
I see.
Yeah. I'm being very optimistic, but
Why
who knows? Who knows? The
Who
first
knows?
year, who knows?
Who knows what
So
footwork will
that
do?
brings me to another question.
Uh-huh.
So you mentioned that last time when you did this, you weren't as transparent about it. What does that mean, actual?
We didn't advertise it.
Okay, and how would you advertise it? You just put it in like?
Well, I mean, I can put it on our marquee. We can put it in,
Okay,
we can send it out to folks.
Yeah.
It's like, we literally waited for you to pick up the phone and call us
I see.
and say, I'd like to use Second Stage. And we'd say, oh, you've never used it before. We have this program for you.
Okay.
At the
okay.
discretion of the center, but in this case, it is directly going to the public in that
Okay.
way, so yeah.
And is it only for first timers?
No,
Okay, okay.
no, we eliminated that too.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's a great.
it's just kind of very,
The committee member are not allowed to rent that place.
Right.
no.
Yeah.
At some point, oh yeah, though, at some point.
Unfortunately. We have a nice Steinway waiting
Yeah,
for
I
you
know.
though. I will never get term out.
Someday,
Eventually you'll term
someday.
out. Okay.
Yeah,
I can introduce my friends.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
very,
That's
very
exactly that.
much. Yeah.
Do you know how many groups you can like accept each year to use that facility?
Right now, we're, for the granting program, we're at probably 5. Yeah, 5. And that's not like a one day, that's like a week rental. So it'll kind of depend, like if somebody, only wants 2 days or something, then we'd have more days to give to somebody else.
Oh, okay, okay.
Then but they could also, there'd be more weekends or weeks still available for rental.
Oh, yes.
It's not 100% booked.
No,
Never.
it's not. It's not 100% booked. And it's just like, and it's very much like the main stage too. Come June, July and August, it, kind of get a little flat. But that's okay. Right now, that's okay, because I'm like scrambling to paint and
Petitions in there,
But doesn't the city communications department post it on Facebook and whatever the city has?
Absolutely
New
could probably,
programs like
yeah.
this?
Yes, yes. I mean, and this is one of those programs that we would probably, ask them to do it.
Right.
A nice write-up and get it out there. And
I'm not sure we've seen anything like this in a while, so it's kind of nice. For the
I
center.
don't know who follows the city on Facebook, actually.
Um,
It's the first thing that came to
We
mind.
have our own-
Other things.
we also have our own Facebook page, so there
Instagram
are,
as well.
our patrons do follow us on we have a Facebook and Instagram. So
Fun, Get a TikTok
we
intern.
can put that out there.
Oh, the city. Well.
Uh,
So, the item 6.3, any comments from the public as well?
Hands raised.
Okay, we already did, I guess, on this one. We're ready to move on? Okay, item 7. Do we have any staff announcements?
So my only staff announcement, really, I was gonna mention the Visual Arts Committee and the Performing Arts Committee and the Downtown Committee ad hoc. Alondra's reached out to our counterparts with the visual arts in the downtown committee to try and get a meeting scheduled. We all chose our ad hoc folks and then it's like, we kind of all need to get in a room together. Like, and we were just a little more, I think what happened is, not to make fun of them, but at their meeting, they suggested it. And at our meeting, it was like, okay, we're doing this. I need 2 people. So I'm just gonna,
But we made it. We made it.
let's just make it happen.
Any questions regarding that meeting though? Because I do think that's kind of a big an interdepartment meeting or kind of committee meeting. It's actually a very interesting thing. And see what happen.
We did them on BPAC as well,
Okay.
with like the senior committee
yeah.
or downtown
Mhm.
committee, other ones that had bicycle pedestrian kind of, you know, overlay, and they're a lot for staff to organize, so thank you. But super informative as a committee member to do that cross learning, so.
And then the next thing that I wanted to bring up is because we have new members. Next meeting in June, we'll meet and then we'll go over to the Performing Arts Center and we'll take a picture of us. And then look, so we have a fresh. picture
Oh,
for the
right.
website. So everybody come with your, you know.
Should do that
Your photo-
first. How
Your photo face.
how exhausted will we be after the meeting?
Item 1.
It'll be item 1.
Performance necessary.
We'll basically like call the meeting to order, we'll walk over, take a picture, and then we'll come back.
There you go.
So,
In that line, am I allowed to put it on social media that I'm in?
of course you are.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Okay, great. I'll ask for the proper verbiage. I don't wanna like,
I don't think, yeah, just post, yeah.
okay.
Just don't use any foul language, you'll be
Yeah,
fine.
no,
You never know.
You'll be fine.
Yeah.
okay, great.
Well, the city's got a PAC website or a
Yeah.
PAC page on the website that says what we do. I don't know, when I send
Yeah.
things out, I just include a link to that
Yeah.
page sometimes.
Okay, yeah, and I'll just copy the words.
I assume it's like the last committee I was on, just if you're ever speaking at like city council, unless you are speaking as an official representative of this committee, you always just say, I'm on the PAC, but I'm not speaking for it.
Yeah.
Okay,
You're speaking for something that's concerning to you in your neighborhood or something.
got it, got it. Thank you, that's really good.
I always have to be careful because I live here.
Why, did you go over Brown Act things with them or?
Oh, it's in their packet.
Oh,
We did
Yeah,
we did the training too.
Training.
you have a packet and
Oh, well.
training?
Yeah.
The 200-page
Yes.
packet?
Sorry, Carol, you were here when I got
I
here.
know. I got one too,
I
Carol.
didn't train you.
I got
You
trained.
don't have this, it's in the front of our book.
You gotta be kidding.
Do we?
Well, you know, I checked my calendar this morning
Uh-huh.
and there was nothing on it until 6:30. You know, as far as
Oh, I
meetings
didn't even know
go.
we were meeting at
I
6:30,
checked
so.
I checked it when I ate lunch and there
think
was
that's my
nothing.
fault.
I came home at 4 o'clock and it says, can you be here at 5:15?
Oops.
So,
Do you have any updates though? Or the updates?
do I have any committee updates?
Or anything else in the community?
Well, can we talk briefly after this meeting?
Yeah,
Because Teresa and I briefly met. It's been just a miscommunication.
okay. Yeah, any updates, anything?
Pardon me?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Um,
No, I think yeah, yeah, had a, oh, you do have an update, sorry. Go ahead, Carol. Go ahead, sorry.
I probably shouldn't confuse the issue anyway. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it has been fun to work on the second stage thing, but the Vitality grant thing, but you know, these things go through steps and it was like very onerous, very many pages, all kinds of things, and I was wondering, who's gonna read this and apply? But then that got whittled down and it looks, you know, looks pretty good and understandable, so.
Excellent.
So anyway, what's up for next year?
We've got a work plan, we've got other stuff.
I know, I wonder. I agree.
Oh, that's about it. I'm just.
Right. Anything else?
Nope.
You good? That's it then, we're done.
Wait,
Okay.
when is our next meeting?
Oh, well, I haven't hit the thing yet. I don't even know what time it is. 7:15, okay, or 7:16. The next Performing Arts Committee meeting will be held on Wednesday, June 18th at 6:15 PM in the Atrium Conference Room, 500 Castro Street. This meeting is adjourned.
That was it.
Easy peasy lemon squeezy.